paper magic will survive like the heat death of the universe, and will...
Oh, it's a smuggler's copter. Would you like to crew this? And then it crashes because they don't understand arithmetic.
All your cards belong to me.
2 minutes into macing him in the eyeballs, I switched to pepper spray. He's like, yes, it's all right, refreshing. And went back to the mace.
Magic is dying. I'm done. Selling everything.
I might be a hoarder. And yes,
I don't have the crayons or glue to explain this to you right now.
What, are you gonna die twice?
Oil will be worthless before magic cards will.
well, okay, Dr. Man.
That's Mr. Dr. Professor Jason.
We have gathered here today to commemorate the life, the journey, and the story of Corbin Hostler. Gone too soon, father to some, podcaster to many. What's this? He's rising out of the coffin!
We're back, baby!
Spooky!
You couldn't just spend one more episode dead. You couldn't give us that. We had a great time last week.
I'm back. We're going to have an even better time this week. The next 2 weeks, however, I will be in Spain, so I'll give you that. But I'm here this week. Welcome.
You hear that, everybody? You can turn this off and just tune in next week.
I enjoyed last week's episode. I liked the bit. I did notice that it got more views in the first day than most of our episodes, which tells you either something about the power of clickbait titles or how much people want me to be a ghost.
We should kill you every week like South Park or the Chris Elliott Show.
They did stop that eventually on South Park, but it was a good bit, right?
No.
No, it was. DJ, you're not old enough to know when it was a good bit. You weren't alive when it was a good bit. Well, welcome into the show, everybody. I am back for today. Looking forward to getting into podcasting before some of us take off for the PT on the other side of the pond. I got some good news about the Pro Tour. Y'all ready for this? There's some good news, bad news here. Good news. Backstage staff is allowed to wear shorts.
Here's for everyone that's you, I guess? Just you?
Nope. There's more to this. The bad news is that the reason for the rule is that the air conditioning via government decree is limited.
Oh, that's extremely funny.
Ooh,
And
yeah.
they are anticipating a rough weekend.
So, one of the things about Spain and a lot of places that are experiencing these heat waves, there's this thing called like the wet bulb temperature, which is like the certain heat with the moisture in the air where your body can no longer sweat and you can no longer relieve yourself of heat.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
Is this going to be like
That
the
means
first
you will. That means if the wet bulb temperature is above 94 degrees, human beings
die.
cannot survive without air conditioning.
You will die in like 6 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Someone's going to die in this convention center.
I've never heard this. I don't want to make it sound that dire.
Episode title, "When is dead for real, PogChamp," parentheses. Like,
He's not
no
dead yet.
need
He's
at
going
this
to be in
time.
shorts like, I have an immune system.
A little piece of cloth isn't going to save you.
Who would have thought Corbin would be the sweatiest person? That guy's the reason it's wet bulb. We kill him and the humidity goes down.
I just want to understand. Wet ball?
Bulb. You
B-U-L-B,
take the bulb
bulb.
of a thermometer and wrap it in a wet rag, and that's literally
Oh, bulb.
wet bulb.
Interesting. Okay.
Yep. Well, that was the first. They have a better wet bulb thing now, but like that was. the
No,
first
sure.
one.
No, I just mean like I've never heard of that. So, like, I know that sometimes it's real hot, and then if you're like on concrete, it feels like it's 140 or
I've
whatever.
never.
But I didn't know that could just like kill you. Like from a I didn't know the thing about not being able to sweat.
It's how
and then
all
dying.
four of us are going to die.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Corbin's
That's
like
how like
using
7
this.
billion people are going to die.
I did tell-
Hyperthermia. It's coming for all of us.
I told my 7-year-old that this was the hottest week of his life when he was complaining. And he said, "How could it ever be any worse?" And I said, "Don't worry, son. It's the hottest
So
week of
far,
your
you
life."
got,
It's
you
the
got
coldest
Simpsons
week
thing.
of
I
his
did.
life.
It's also the coldest.
So far.
Well,
Yeah.
we're all gonna die, but before we do, there's a children's card game we all love so very much. It's called Magic the Gathering. It was invented by Dr. Richard Garfield, PhD, because he wanted money to make just the middest card or board game called Robo Rally. And he got to make Robo Rally because he made the best card game ever, and now I have children with regrettable names, and that's how we ended up here.
I don't know if you're allowed. Like, I don't listen. Everyone knows that Jason elaborates and engages in hyperbole from time to time. What's the age difference between your two kids, Jason?
3 years.
3 years later, he decided to run back the Magic naming convention. You don't get to call it regrettable now.
You can?
Soren is spelled with an E. I can always be
I
like, oh, I did not know. That's
Actually-
a magic character?
like, for what it's worth, Magic characters or not, I think they're both solid names for kids, by the way.
Are you going to name your kid Garrick or something?
I've seen Naya has been used, right? I'm not going to name any names, right? But like people in the community have posted that they've named kids Naya or Alara. I feel like if you do for girl names are easy. This is what we determined when we were having kids. Boy names are way harder than girl names. I bet there's a lot.
You can name your kid like anything, though. You can name your kid a sentence, probably.
You can.
You name them XG8.
I was gonna say you can name your kid after a cheat code. Like it's not a
whatever
big.
Elon did. Yeah.
Go to your room. Up, down, left, right, B.
If I ever had
B.A.
a kid, I would name
Baracus.
them Histamine. Or if it was a girl, Hirstamine, but you know.
Hurston.
They, themstamine.
They. See, don't call me Hurstamine. It's they, themstamine.
Take your pick.
All right, well, let's talk about some Magic. Barcelona, Spain, all of those things, whatever you want to call it aside, it's going to be fun.
I want you to call it by its name.
But after the last 5 minutes, I don't know what that is.
It's Barcelona.
That's DJ? Is that correct?
Yep. Yes.
Okay, I'll work on that. Do I have to? Yep, I'm on it.
Brought it up.
Yeah, of course. Okay. The point is,
Pretend you're Hank Azaria.
it's time to do Breaking Bulk. I know you all are going to miss me while I'm in Barcelona, trying to,
Say Barcelona.
Trying to give you guys a shot at winning the game of Breaking Bulk. So here we are, Breaking Bulk this week.
Breaking bulk time. Breaking bulk time. Break.
Oh, yeah, breaking bulk. There's so much good stuff.
It's a pick. Breaking bulk. The end.
This week.
Fate Reforged, uncommon, color is white.
Hoplite.
What set was
Brave
Fate
the
Reforged?
Sands?
A crow
No.
and Hoplite.
Brave the Sands was Cons of Tarkir. It's not what Corbin said either.
It's a white what?
White uncommon from Fate Reforged.
Oh, Blessed Alliance? Or is that...
That is
That's
Eldritch
Eldritch
Moon.
Moon. Eldritch, different second set.
There are no cards in Fate Reforged.
Correct. But this is one of them.
Wasn't Brave the Sands a card?
It was, and it's in Cons of
apparently.
Oh,
Tarkir.
that's why Brave the Sands, wasn't it? Okay. Man, I'm stumped. I got a big hole in
Yeah, I
my
got
memory
nothing.
for this set.
Jeskai Barricade is
isn't that like the really bad Wall of Omens?
It's not. I mean, it bounces one of your own creatures. It's like a bad Restoration Angel. I'd say is more
okay.
apt for comparison.
Hmm.
But just a
Better than I thought.
0/4 with Flash and Defender that lets you bounce one of your own creatures. So it's like a Arcades card where you're gonna flash it in and save
It's a
something.
White
and-
Mane Lion.
Yeah, it's White Main
Yeah,
Lion,
that's
but it has
cool.
Defender.
Wide main line's the one I was trying to think of. Thank you.
But it cannot bounce itself, which is the biggest downside.
Right.
Unlike Shrieking Drake, baby. All right, cool. That was a good one.
It's like 10 cents buy West. It's not gonna.
It's down there, but it's a pick.
Yeah.
Well, I got one that's 10 cents buy list for now, but I think the fact that the foil copies are selling out and this has never gotten reprinted, it seems this hasn't been crunched out of the Onyxia Commander deck, though. I'll tell you that much. This card is from Journey into Nyx, and it is a
The Black Green
card.
Spider.
Nope.
Ooh.
You couldn't wait for me to finish my sentence. You're
I
like, I'm gonna be
came in
wrong
hot.
right now.
I came in hot. I thought I was confident.
Yeah,
That's okay. I'll recover.
confidence is good normally.
It's a black green uncommon from Journey Nyx, you said?
No,
He didn't say
black
I jumped the
uncommon.
gun on the color combo. I just
Oh.
There is no combo. It's mono black and it's common.
The one that exiles their graveyards.
No.
Agent of Erebos? The drain one.
Agent of Erebos is uncommon.
The ETB drain one, like it's Constellation Blood Artisty.
No.
Something.
It's a black uncommon from Journey.
It's a black
Uncommon.
common creature from Journey into Nick.
Faceless.
Just if you
Is
can
it
tell me
like
the effect.
-1/-1?
Nah.
No, that's Doomwave
That's
Giant.
Doomwave Giant. That's
Is it
a buck. That's not much more than this is.
So it's not the drain one. It's not the graveyard exile one.
It's Grim Guardian. That Grim Guardian.
That's
is
what I was
the,
thinking.
each opponent loses life.
I
Yeah.
said that.
You did? Did you?
It's the
Yes.
drain one.
Yeah, well, he said drain, yeah.
Oh, that's what you meant by drain. Okay. I thought you
Drain
were-
technically implies that you gain the life.
I thought you were. Yeah, drain.
Yeah.
So I was thinking like is
Literally
he
like the
Gray
card drain.
Merchant, or is there another Gray
Drain.
Merchant? Yeah, DJ got it. It's Grim Guardian. The foil of this is selling out, so it hasn't been crunched out of the deck, the Enixia deck yet. I don't think, but even if it's in there, the foils are going to be good. So I think maybe don't bulk out the non-foils, even if it does get a reprint. This is, a pretty sick card. And again, this will be the only foil version. So the more attention they bring to this card, the better the foils look. So I normally don't tell people to buy foils, but I think if you can scoop these under 5, that's not bad. But I'm basically telling you to pick the non-foils out of bulk. But if you wanted to do a break in bulk of the week, hey, these are selling out under 5. It's a good card. The Enixia deck is going to be fun. I may even build it.
Kill people are good.
Yeah.
All right, I got a Dark Ascension green common.
Young Wolf.
Yeah, it's low hanging fruit or whatever, but
Yeah.
card at like a quarter on some buy lists. Foils are like $10 to $15.
Yeah, I sold
yeah,
a playset of foils this past weekend in Cincinnati from behind the booth, and the person just begrudgingly handed over their credit card, mumbling like, "Freaking $50 common playset."
Yeah, I mean, what else are you going to do for your Yawgmoth deck,
You're
right?
one
You just
building
suck it
20
up and you get them.
Yeah, you're the one building the most obvious goddamn deck in the format.
Yawgmoth is not only broken, has been broken, and will continue to be broken, but I think it might also be a good pick for the PT. So, like, I'm kind of...
I haven't, it depends how it matches up against the One Ring, right? That seems to be what
Well,
everything the PT is about, and I don't
Basically,
know
it
the answer
seems like you can just swap Blood Artist for Zulaport Cutthroat and get around the protection.
How
Just went that
dumb
way.
does this feel to competitive Magic players who are kind of like,
It
"I
doesn't.
don't care about the lore, it is whatever,"
It doesn't.
to like, I can't beat TARDIS. No matter what I sideboard in, I cannot beat a turn 4 TARDIS.
I love it.
No, I hear you. Look, I hear you, Jason, but they don't care. They're just game pieces.
It's gonna
to
be
them.
so just f***ing annoying because it was like, oh, they didn't print. Did they printed TARDIS in some supplementary product? But oops, they accidentally made it ruin Legacy for. I don't know. It's funny to me. I love it.
I don't think that I don't think that playing against the One Ring and having it be the One Ring is any different than playing against Jace the Mind Sculptor and having it be Jace the Mind Sculptor if you don't want it to be.
Yeah.
Right?
Both
Like
things
if
are
you're a
equally,
player. Yeah, like if you're a player playing the game for competitiveness,
But Jason
the
the Mind
names on the
Sculptor
cards
was a
don't
card
matter.
they meant to go in the set, and it wasn't
They
a card
didn't-
that didn't go in the set. It wasn't like, oh, all this shit from Scry magazine in the 90s is legal now, so
Well, we're talking about the One Ring, which was printed to do what it's doing in Modern. I think it was probably a design mistake being colorless, but like, I like it was meant to do what it's doing.
I
how
think
are
the
these
card's
people
also-
playing the One Ring though? Isn't there only one copy of it?
You should be limited to it. It should for
Yeah,
sure be
you should
restricted
have
in your
one
deck.
ring, and it's really
Like,
good. And then
you should not be allowed to have 4 of them.
The correct podcaster decision is for all of us to go along with what he said, and then just like do the thing where everyone tells you that you're wrong in the comments for interaction. Like that was the play for all of
My
us.
bad. Yeah, good
So
point.
the problem is I'm autistic and I have to be right. So
I don't have autism to blame. I just don't have a very good personality, and I need to be right.
happens to
Well,
the best of us.
And I am both. I am the child of that creation.
And I'm here to give you all an opportunity to be right about my Breaking Bulk, which is a green uncommon from Adventures in the Forgotten Realms.
Is it the Innkeeper?
Nope.
Is it the
That's what you thought it would be.
Disenchant thing?
Nope.
Where you roll a d20?
Nope.
Is it the,
Is it the other thing where you roll a d20?
Nope. No dice.
No
Game Life
dice.
one?
That was
No
that
dice,
was-
all
that was
right.
good.
That was
Corbin,
an
did you
accident,
hear
Corbin.
Cass?
I did not hear Cass.
Is it the Game Life one?
Is he?
I'm reading it. It's got a lot of words on it, but that's one of them, or a couple of them.
Well, I
Are you
wonder
talking
if
about a particular class of card?
it's the not saga, the classes, the like bard class or whatever.
She gets the
Druid
W
class?
here.
No,
Whatever.
I just said. I asked if it was any kind of a particular class of card.
Oh, that's good. I didn't even catch that.
Thank you.
It's the Game Life class card.
It's true.
though,
Yeah,
so-
it's true. Well, it's Druid class is the
Yeah.
answer.
Sure.
Yeah,
I wanted, like,
it's
my process for that, by the way, is I just
Uh-huh.
guess a mechanic that's in the color, and you kind of lead me. That's how you win Breaking Bulk. That's
well.
what
What's
you're just-
interesting? What's interesting is that cleric class is white and also has a couple of the same words you said there. But yeah,
You're
Druid
just
class
doing that John
is
Edward.
awesome.
Your dead relative's name started with an A or
Yeah.
B? Somebody had a C or
Yeah,
D, I
man.
think.
It's all a con.
Well, Druid class is 75 cents. It's a $5 foil. Whenever a land enters the battlefield, you gain.
I'm just
And
picturing
level two, you can
Cass
play more
chewing
lands.
7 packs of gum with a pern in a New York City accent and guessing dead relatives now. Just the what is it, the New York City medium or whatever, like Miami medium, something like that.
I'm sensing you have some sort of medallions with you.
You mean my necklace? Yes, that's right. That must be it.
What was the fuck Donna sketch where it's like or Trayvoyant, he's clairvoyant or something?
What?
There's this show called Auntie Donna's Big Old House of Fun, which is like a bunch of New Zealand comedians who do skits, and there's one where one of the guys is a clairvoyant, and he paid off somebody in the crowd to pretend to be someone who's dead relative.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
the spirit was talking to him. He told the guy to bring a medallion with him, and the guy brought pork medallions.
Oh. I thought it was going to be like a clairvoyance can only talk to clairs, you know?
No, I thought I was referencing I Think You Should Leave and that you all would get it, then I realized I referenced the wrong Netflix comedy show, and I feel like a jackass now.
Well, I didn't get
Seen
it.
it
That's
though,
true.
but I just didn't remember what you were talking about.
You remember
Again,
that
because
Key
I'm
and Peele
autistic.
sketch about the guy that didn't know he's in the KKK? That was funny.
My favorite Key and Peele sketch is about the guy on the train.
Isn't
Machine?
that a Chappelle show
The
episode?
machine thing. That was
Yeah,
the
that
line.
was the... Goodness.
Was that the joke?
That was the joke. We're all lost. We need somebody to pick the black uncommon golem to get us.
Oh,
back on track.
man. That card is cool, by the way.
Someone say pick. It's time for pick of the week.
It's time for pick ourselves out of this pit we dug with these pickaxes.
Listen, the only pick you need is some
Is to
Manscaped.
pick a different podcast.
Is to pick some Manscaped. Roll that beautiful ad footage. Brainstorm Brewery is brought to you by Manscaped, the best in below-the-waist grooming. Their products are precision-engineered tools for the family jewels. The Performance Package is the ultimate hygiene bundle. Join over 8 million people worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer. We have 20% and free worldwide shipping if you use the code BSB. You'll get the Performance Package 4.0. It's really a game changer. Inside the package, you'll find the Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, the Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer, the Crop Preserver and Crop Reviver, as well as a gift of performance boxer briefs and a travel bag. This is everything you need if you are traveling and want to take care of yourself just a little bit better than maybe you have in the past. Manscaped has all of the tools for you. Join over 8 million people worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer. We have 20% and free worldwide shipping if you use the code BSB.
Go to patreon.com/BSB.
You think that guy's
20.
dead? Do you think that guy's dead? The Bush's Beans guy?
Who?
The guy who was like,
Corbin, you're not asking the right question. Is the dog from the commercial
that's
dead?
what he's got.
Definitely.
Yeah. That's probably why they stopped
That
doing
guy's
him.
probably alive. He got good health care with that bean money, but that dog, there's nothing you can do for a dog that's definitely fed baked beans on the set.
What was the catchphrase, man?
Gotta have
I
those-
love
Oh, wait, here we go. Hold on.
Beat 'em up.
In the 90s, it was that the dog knew the
No,
secret
listen.
recipe, but it was a dog and it won't tell anybody. And then the dog would talk. He'd be like, "Oh, dog's gonna tell everyone the baked bean recipe, which is just the most insane idea, and we all bought that.
And then he jumps in and he goes, roll that beautiful bean footage.
Jason, there's nothing in the rule book that says a dog can't tell you a bean recipe.
But they don't. They cut him off. They roll the beautiful bean footage, and that's your.
We've got that bean roll. It's a bean culture podcast now.
But why were we okay with okay, so what's going on here is he told the dog the baked bean recipe, but he's not afraid that the dog's gonna tell people the baked bean recipe on account of it's a dog
Jason,
and he can't talk.
There's bad news, buddy.
What?
They have a new Bush's dog, but he's acting with Peyton Manning. I think the guy's dead.
It's Air Bud too.
Oh, the guy's... If you get replaced by Peyton Manning,
I think the guy's dead, man. They got the dog. He looks healthy and happy, and then they got Peyton Manning, and that other guy's gone, man.
Corbin learns object permanence 2024. Like he's not in the commercial. Must be dead.
Is the baked beans guy
Where'd he
dead?
go?
Corbin's like, I wasn't in the podcast last week, therefore I was dead. This guy is not in the cast this week, and he's dead. So
I'll turn my Willbounder face up.
Cass, is he dead?
He died in 2018.
No, why did you look it up?
Wait, no, sorry, the dog died in 2018. The dog died in 2018.
Shit.
Oh, thank God.
They got a new
Bush,
dog.
the great-great-grandson of the founder of Bush Brothers and Company, is still alive. He's no longer featured in the commercials, but he still works the company in a marketing capacity. The dog is dead, though.
But they got a new
maybe
one.
a 75-year-old dude doesn't want to be in commercials anymore. He must be dead.
They got it. Well, bro, you say that, but I'm looking at a picture of him in a Christmas card with the new dog from a few months ago.
Yeah, I mean, he owns the company. His great-grandfather founded the company. He's a
Isn't that the whole
Nepo-Baby.
reason to be in the commercials, though?
Listen, when his dog retired from acting by dying, so did he.
Is the Bush's baked beans guy a Nepo-Baby? That's our topic for this week.
80-year-old Nepo-Baby.
Well, he is. I mean, his grandpa owned the company, right? So
yeah.
He might have had merit.
Do what I did. You walk right onto the factory floor, shake the foreman's hand, be like, my grandfather owns the joint. I'm your new supervisor. That's how I got my first job.
I just want him to have bad ideas. I want him to walk on the floor and be like, beans are blue now. We're making add the dye.
beans are
beans. They have too much fiber.
Hey, I heard beans were $10 a cart. Are we selling the beans for $10 a cart? We're not going to make any money. I took half of an MBA course, and I can tell you that beans $10 a cart. The more you eat, the more you fart is not a good price.
The thing about
but it is a good catchphrase.
People eat them and then they're done with them. We need bean vape juice. We're in the vape market now, guys.
Oh my god.
We've been just throwing away the beans when we make beanie weenies.
Bean wax.
We've been throwing away the beanie weenie juice.
Don't throw out the weenie with the bean water.
I used to eat baked beans as a snack.
Beans are underrated as a breakfast food. The British got that
Don't
one
say
thing right.
snack.
Bush's baked beans, man. I'd get a
Say
small
it.
can.
Just say side dish, Corbin.
No. It would be like I'd get home from school and I'd heat up a little can of beans and eat them for a snack.
Jesus Christ. Look,
Okay,
man,
cool.
You don't have
classist.
to admit this. You
You
can
fucking
keep this a
classist
secret. It's
over here.
embarrassing.
Did you
Not
have a
everybody
bindle
has
instead of a
bougie
backpack?
options.
Did you have a big? Did you? You know how you did screw off the top and pull it off most of the way and then put it right on the fire? You know, beans for a snack. Don't say snack. Say side dish, Corbin.
What's your favorite freight train model?
If I eat some potato salad out of the fridge, I'm not having a snack. I'm having a side dish. You sound insane calling baked beans a snack.
He's knocking on the boxcar. Mom, I'm home.
How did you eat
Rorschach? Who eats
so
beans as a snack?
It's good.
This is worse than you said you were eating a bowl of corn as a snack. We gave you shit for 45 minutes on that one. We don't have time for that tonight.
You live in England where they serve it as breakfast. You just were extolling the virtues of eating beans at a time in which Americans do not eat beans. And now, as an American, you're trashing my bean snack.
You don't just eat the beans by themselves. You have them with a full English breakfast.
No, I had a glass of milk.
That's so much worse.
Beans and milk?
Jason, remember when he told us he didn't know what a Shamrock Shake was? He's just drinking bean juice out of a milkshake.
I want to defend a bowl of corn as a snack. I want to defend a bowl
You know,
of
you
corn.
don't need that ice cream when the bean juice curdles the milk.
So if you take the corn, you mix some mayo with it, and then like some cheese, that you have elotes, and that's actually a good snack.
Guys, I really want some right now.
Why are you telling me this?
Why are you making it our problem?
Because they're good for his heart, and he wants us to know that he doesn't want to die like we pretended he did.
That's it.
They're good for your heart. Also, the more you eat, the more you fart.
Isn't it the more you eat, the more... That's wrong, Jason.
Beans, good for your heart. The more you eat, the more you fart. The more you fart, the better you feel. So eat your beans at every meal.
That's
I believe
the
that
playground
is
rhyme.
the scripture,
Yeah.
according to the prophets.
Wait, DJ, have you heard that before?
Yes, that's the playground rhyme.
It's beans, the magical fruit. The more you eat, the more you toot.
What the fuck
Yeah,
are you
but
talking
like
about,
it's not a
Corbin?
fruit; it's a legume.
Yeah, no one's ever said that. It's not a fruit.
Corbin, the fact that that's different than you means it has to have racist origins.
You're probably right. You're
It's an Oklahoma thing.
Like, you're absolutely right, because like that's not a weird me thing. That is absolutely what it is here. So like,
There are 4 lights, Corbin.
now I don't want to know what the origin is. All right, so the big product making news this week is, of course, Commander Masters, which is coming out of the gates. Very pricey, very full of reprints. I think we have our 8th and 9th reprint of Zatalpa in the same set, which is impressive, but that's the way things go now.
I'm personally pretty excited for the Paul Bettany card in Masters Commanders.
Master and Commander, the Russell Crowe movie. Catch up, man.
It's a homoerotic nautical fiction.
Isn't Paul Bettany Vision?
Paul Bettany is the bottom in Master and Commander.
No, he was Vision.
He's getting commanded and mastered.
I only know if they have a Marvel
That's
role,
true.
everything else gets drowned out by a Marvel role. That's how it works.
I'm so sorry.
But yeah, Commander Masters. What do you all? I mean, look, we've seen a lot of discourse about the product. It's expensive. It's a Masters product. It's coming on the back of Lord of the Rings, which was also priced up there. It's got great reprints. I mean, what do you all think? We've got high dollar reprints coming for sure. I saw the Force spells from.
Listen,
the
this
free
podcast
spells,
has
rather.
always been like, buy the singles you want, and if you're like a dealer, you have to bust product. So bust product because you have to. But now I'm like, I don't bust product anymore either. I don't care.
I think to bust product, you have to be someone who can pre-sell on TCG Player. And it's like
Yeah,
probably
if
insane if you do, because like you just get to put up your Fierce Guardianship full arts or whatever for like $90, and then you open your collector boosters and it turns out the distribution was getting on. You have to refund all your customers.
Yeah, or you get them and then you just got $90 for a card that's like way cheaper the next week.
Yeah, I mean that's the upside. It just feels like it's impossible to actually open any product these days and know what you're getting.
Well, that was so stressful. That was the worst part for me. I'm doing such safe bull speculating now because like I just don't want to take risks right now. So I don't feel like doing anything stressful. You know, like, oh, this card went up on Friday on camera, and I'm just like, no, I don't care. Give me something that I can forget about for 6 months and still make money.
Send me your collection tracker. I'll pay you X%, and then I'll list it on TCG Player and let God do what he does.
Look, for what it's worth, you all, part of the reasoning behind that is that it is harder because of how many things Wizards prints these days. So on the one hand, you could frame this as 5 years ago, we were asking them to reprint cards in more ways so that cards that should not be expensive just didn't get expensive. And like, I memed on Zatalpa or whatever, and I don't know if that card was ever a lot, but they definitely have driven the price of a lot of cards into the ground, which is one of the reasons why opening sealed product can be so hit or miss. With Lord of the Rings, it was really interesting. When I opened up my collector box and scanned through everything, I had some cool full art stuff that I liked, but none of it was worth anything. It felt terrible. And now 3 weeks later, it's actually all worth more than it was then, which is really interesting. I don't know if that's like people chasing the One Ring and then they stop putting product, or if it's just a matter of
that could
no
be a
one
thing
knew.
Where
it could be, or it could be no one knew it
planned
was
on having
good.
a ton of it going out, and then because I feel like we got allocated super hard at the LGS where I buy sealed stuff. We got allocated like basically cut off, and then literally 4 days after the One Wing was cracked, the distributor's like, "Oh, I have a bunch for you now."
People returned their
Yeah.
stuff. So on the topic of Corbin opening up a box of cards and then scanning and everything and looking at a big number, that is part of the fantasy that we sell as drug dealers. Is just
Yes.
trying to convince people, like,
It's a lottery ticket that you can play a game with your friends with.
well, there's that, but like even just like in addition to that, it's also Wizards selling people the dream of I paid $140 for my box or my commander deck, or like the Sliver Precon's a good example of this. That's the Twitter drama of the past 24 hours. Is when you open the Sliver Precon and scan every card and look at the TCG mid number or the Goldfish number or the Moxfield number, it says 200 and something when that is not the real number of what the cards are actually worth.
Right.
If you were to just go buy them all. And there's discourse about, oh, the Sliver Commander deck's not worth it. How dare Wizards charge you $100 for only $90 in reprints or whatever? But like, they are still selling you a full product and saving you the mental energy of building a deck.
Oh man, there's so many things there. Like you're just right on to the nth extent. You're right.
Man,
about people complaining about that stuff. Like it's absurd.
When I go to buy singles on TCG Player, I will pay like $2 extra per copy to click the 4 or more button and just like
that's what I'm
them all
saying.
from the same person.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it's absurd to be like $100 deck has only $90 worth of reprints in it. Like, yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. It's also
but
like
that is kind of where we're at.
When I buy
Well,
a guitar pick for 50 cents and I can't get 50 cents for it, it's bull.
Yeah,
Anyway,
go ahead.
That wasn't worth interrupting you.
I think it's up that I went into Subway and I talked to the sandwich artist and had them make me a $6 sub and then I ate it and then it wasn't worth anything. Like, I should be able to get something back for that.
I looked up
It's like
all
a bad
the
faith argument, but
I looked up all the ingredients, the cost of each individual tomato slice.
Yes.
It was
I
only
could
like
build the sandwich at home for $3.
Yeah, waiter, the market price of that lobster tail is more than what it shows on Google right now.
What do you value this croissant at?
It says market price on the menu. Anyway,
so
I
like
think we've proven the point.
There is also a very good point about Wizards going very fast at getting rid of their reprint equity.
Yep.
And looking up the number of $100 cards as a whole, the number of $50 cards as a whole, the number of $20 cards as a whole, and like how Wizards is able to leverage those numbers in future packs to be able to get addicts to crack them is the most brutal way to putting it. But like, people want to be able to chase lottery tickets, as you said, and people need that incentive in order to subsidize the game for the rest of the people that want to feel smart by ordering singles at the cheapest possible point.
Yep.
Yeah, all reasonable. And of course, there is that undercurrent of gambling. Go infinite. I mean, it was an example of how it works. My 7-year-old opened up a one ring and a booster pack. That's so exciting. Blah, blah, I want to trade it in for more, and then I'll open up another one, and then I'll do this, and I'll get my Charizard booster box. And I explained to him that, like, no, the average is not that. You won't be able to do that. That's not how it works. And explain that to someone. But that is how the human brain works, is that once something good like that happens, you pull the good thing, you think you're going to, you go, oh, I'll just do it again. I did it once. It
was effortless the first time.
Yeah. I think if you want to teach kids the dangers of gambling, what you should do is you should say, hey kiddo, here's $100. Go play blackjack. You owe me $100 at the end of the night, and if you don't have it, I'm gonna break your kneecaps. And you break the kneecaps, inevitably they're gonna piss the money away.
Yeah.
I know this is like kind of an awkward point to segue into a sponsor, but I would like to just bring up this week. We do have a new sponsor. Brainstorm Brewery is brought to you by Skinner Boxes. BF Skinner from 100 years ago, really great guy, reached out to me via email. He got this cool little contraption thing. It's like you press a lever. It's really, really cool. He put me in when I tried it out. I had a lot of fun.
Put your own biological daughter
we're
in
selling
the
Skinner boxes now. Enter promo code BSB. BF at I don't know.
BSB, BSS is fair. BFS is fair.
Name a hobby that isn't a Skinner box. I'll wait. It turns out we're dopamine-driven animals.
And this is the only one that pays you out at the end.
Good point.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's that. Go ahead, DJ. Let's move on to something else with that product. Go ahead.
my uranium glass collection has a huge payoff someday. Eventually, I'll be irradiated enough that I'll get superpowers and I'll be just like Aquaman.
Yeah, Dr. Manhattan over here.
Why did you say Aquaman?
Who exactly is gonna buy them, Ben?
Oh, yeah.
Fucking Aquaman?
My last rant on Commander Masters, and it's not even really on Commander Masters, it's just about current Magic printing
Palestine, yeah.
Is I would love to be a fly on the wall for any data they have on etched foils and special foils. I realize I come from a position of privilege when I complain about these because of the machine behind me, but I think that sorting machines and scanning technology, I mean, scanning technology is the proletariat version of this, where like you have an app on your phone that just watch Cass's eyes.
You know, our listeners who are too poor for a $25,000 piece of equipment. You know, the pros.
Hey,
What I
piece
like-
of shit,
listen,
do
what
you
I
not
like
have
about-
a robot work for you?
What I like about the
Drink
Roku...
some Victory Gin and work a double shift at the factory. Someday you'll be able to afford your own shoes.
The great thing about DJ's Roku, the Roku has levels. You have the high level version for DJ. I got like a $20 Roku comes with a remote in my living room. Not that impressive.
That's true. There are a lot of different price tiers for it.
By the end of the summer, I'll have a Roku too, so I'll be just as insufferable as DJ. Well, I won't, but the store will, and I'll never use it because I have people who work for me, and I take the surplus value of their labor as a business owner.
Yeah, you don't have to invest in an issue.
As you're entitled to.
So scanning technology and image recognition is just something that will be more commonplace in Magic over the next several years, and I would be very, very surprised if Wizards was acknowledging feedback from the retailers that make their game possible. There's all the we love the LGS talk, but like as more LGSs gain the ability to use something new, this other new tool called like Microsoft Excel and like Google Sheets, and just the ability to scan cards in and then upload them to their store, and there's all this integration that exists, and etched foils are a giant just fly in the ointment for that. Just any cards that like are unable to be scanned just create very big process exceptions and headaches for a lot of people. I mean, as Magic players who are listening to this podcast, I'm sure you've had the example of I bought the card and then they sent it to me and it wasn't the Halo version, or it wasn't the gilded foil, or it was the wrong. It had a mystery booster symbol in the bottom left. Yeah. And so just all of these things that Wizards are doing to throw wrenches in the machine that is cataloging systems and logistics are one of the more frustrating choke points for me as somebody who is sort of behind the scenes with this industry. It's not about like there's 7,000 cards in the set. There's 7,000 cards in the set, but the machine can only process 70% of them, and the rest have to be dealt with by hand. That is the issue here, the crux.
The thing about etched foils is they're probably locked into them for at least another year. I feel like they have to do some amount of contract with the printing facility. Because like the first etched foils looked like they still all kind of do, but like there's no way they wouldn't have pivoted away from them unless they were locked into it for a certain amount of time. Like
Commander Legends is the ugliest set they've ever printed.
I tend to agree. I feel like WotC is currently in their iteration era. Like there was like the iteration era around Zendikar where they were trying like new design stuff, new ways to make the game good. Now they're trying new ways to make the game profitable instead of good. That sounds like way worse of a dig than it actually is intended to be.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
And like I feel like etched foils are one of those things where like they had to sign a certain amount of years of doing this to get the ability to do it in the first place.
That is a very good point that I didn't. We talked a little bit about this last week. I don't remember if it was on the cast, but like that is such a good point of just like a lot of things are just somebody signed a contract, as you put it. Yeah. It's like like they can't pivot. Oh no.
Card game companies like. Card printers have these companies buy the ball so fucking hard that Pokemon bought their own, like they started their own printing company.
Because that was easier.
They own all of their own printing facilities because it was cheaper and easier.
Plus they were having Wizards of the Coast do it and they kept putting Harry Potter backs on Pokemon cards.
Yeah, but I
There you
mean,
go.
this set has
go
a
ahead.
lot of etched foils, and the next set's gonna have a lot of like, I don't know. I can't even think of the crate they did Gilded Halos, Galaxy. There's
Fairy dust foils for Eldrazi.
Yeah.
They're gonna be like little sparkles.
Yep. They're gonna do Cinderella foils, and it's gonna be another thing that just is harder for.
Arcana Eldraine crossover. Let's go.
It's gonna. I almost said Mickey Mouse foils, but I didn't want this podcast to be nuked from orbit.
Elsa's Secret Lair.
Let it go.
I saw the emotion change. If you're not on YouTube watching this, you're missing out on Cass's facial expression trait. Like,
I'm like,
Very expressive right around the face region.
it's honestly just that you all make me use a face cam because I have to be perceived, but at the same time, like, I am such a good rubber face. Like, I would kick Jim Carrey's
You
in like a
belong on,
fist
I think
fight.
You, but if you were on like, I think you should leave. That show's all about making.
Yeah, I'm not funny enough to actually tell good jokes, but I can make a good weird face.
Corbin has seen one sketch show. He's getting real Boss Baby vibes from I Think You Should Leave.
I watched.
Tim Robinson does have a good rubber face, though. He would be a good horror actor.
You know, sketch like I Think You Should Leave or Tim Robinson.
SNL. All right, before we get out of here this week, as always, we want to give a shout out to our sponsors, MTG Stocks and Coalesce Apparel and Design. You know both of these places because they are the best at what they do on the internet. Go support them. You can use the gift code Brainstorm Brewery if you're shopping on Coalesce. And if you're on MTG Stocks, make sure to check out the premium side of the website, which has all the best features that we, in fact, use to make the picks of the week, which are coming up to you next. Go ahead, DJ.
So Cedric and I had a little chat this weekend while I was in Cincinnati, and he let me know a little secret that I'll share with you. Our wonderful merch, our wonderful 2 shirt designs. We have a third one coming out at some point soonish. They have very, very high engagement ratings with non-Magic players. Do you know that? Like, just not like the non-Magic crowd, the non people who are just like, oh yeah, I don't.
The non-Magic crowd or like the non-podcast Magic crowd?
The kind of person who Googles brewery t-shirt.
Okay, there you go.
And those people are eating up our merch just because the design's cool. It's not inherently like super Magic-y. But you know what that means? And that means the Magic players are fucking up. You are the listener are messing up by you're getting outpaced by some rando.
You're buying so little of our merch that, like, the noise from someone buying our shit by accident is making a signal.
I don't know if this is a great pitch.
Compete. You know how many Coalesce shirts I have?
I don't know if this is a great pitch, but this is an on-brand BSB pitch. Go order it now, you fuckers. Use the Brainstorm Brewery gift code.
Pick of the week, pick of the week, pick of the week. Time for the pick of the week.
As always, we use MTG stocks to make picks of the week, which is how you know they're going to be up-to-date and amazing like mine this week. I am looking at a Theros Beyond Death saga, which is one of the very few sagas which has not exploded yet, thanks to Tom Bombadil. But somebody crushed me with it over the weekend, and I looked at the price chart, and it's starting to inch up itself. But Elspeth Conquers Death out of Theros Beyond Death is it's just a 5-mana saga. Exiles things, taxes your opponent's spells, return things. Very good. Tom Bombadil spiking a new saga every 2 or 3 every week, and I think this one
people are still acting surprised too.
This card
they shouldn't be. It's been the top of my weekly winners column every week since I started writing it 4 weeks ago. Tom Bombadil is just crushing everything.
I just found out you were writing on TCG Player this week, and you've been writing there for a month.
Yep, been talking about it on this podcast for a month too.
Cool, congratulations.
To you. What? Are you serious?
I don't remember hearing that. I felt like this week was the first I heard of it. But apparently you've been there a month. That's cool.
Well, I'm writing. Yeah, this is my 4th
MTG
week.
Stocks for about a month. It's a great place to write. Go read my articles. And while you're there, use the tools. They're good.
Yeah, Elspeth Conqueror's Death is under $1 right now. It's about 50 cents regular. There are no additional printings of this outside of a list printing, so take that for what you will. But yeah, no major Masters sets or anything like that.
Small correction, I'm pretty sure it was a multiple of in a Challenger deck at one point, which is part of what kept the price down for as long as it did.
Interesting. There you go. I would if it's in if it got some extra printings in a Challenger deck, they'd still have the same borders. Yeah. But yeah, that would explain why it's been such a cheap card. But yeah, it's climbing up off the floor as we speak. Cassie, hop in next. What are you looking at this week?
I got Turok Dread Cantor. In the Orcish Bowmaster era, black is the color to be playing in Magic. Thoughtseize is being played more. Turok is pretty good against Solitude. Card's pretty cheap, and as we've kind of talked about, it doesn't take a lot for a Modern Horizons 2 card to get off the ground, especially as the set gets a little older.
Yeah.
Turok also has some cool commander appeal. People like making people discard cards at random. It's even seeing play in Legacy from time to time, so it kind of feels bad. Kind of feels hard to not win on this card at $2.
Yeah, this is one that used to be more expensive because it was getting played a fair amount in kind of a couple years ago in red-black-ish decks, right? And those decks have since gone in different directions, either the scam direction with Grief and Fury, or the Fable Shieldred route. But Turok is really powerful, and with Bowmasters changing again how these decks can look, they can get really low to the ground now and play something like Turok to be the top of the curve when they have another four of Bowmasters they can slot in at the beginning. So I'm not gonna. I guess the long and short of that is I do think that this card is going to continue to have a renewed place in Modern as the Rakdos decks continue to kind of evolve against each other and against the One Ring, which discard is an extremely good answer to. All right, Jason, I assuming that you're coming in with some EDH looking picks. What are you looking at this week?
Hey, my pick this week. Listen, I think people aren't done with Lord of the Rings. I think it's going to harness a bunch of new players, and I think Call of the Ring at $5. It's the best card in the set. It's too cheap, If you got Nazgul at $15 and if Witch King of Algamar can be $10, then Call of the Ring can't be $5. So I think Call of the Ring is probably your best bet.
Corbin, is there a reason?
Oh, well, I'm concurring with Corbin's pick then.
Okay.
Vouch.
You can vouch.
That's called independent confirmation.
That's right.
In the scientific community.
It is, and I do appreciate that very much. I think it's a great one. DJ, we'll let you have the honors. Last pick of the week before we get out of here this week. What do you
I'm gonna go above and beyond as I always do, and I'm gonna independently confirm my pick in two ways.
God, I hate you.
I'm gonna. What? You haven't heard me say words.
I hope you. I thought you were about to. You're gonna come in. I'll pick the pick I picked last week. Independently confirm myself. Now go ahead, DJ.
No, I'm gonna independently confirm my pick with Cass because my pick is a 2-mana Modern Horizons card that I think will go up. Modern Horizons 2 card. And I will confirm mine with Jason because mine is a thing that deals with enchantments. And he picked Setessan Champion a few weeks ago. So for those who are really good at connecting dots, mine is Sithist Harvest's Hand. There's the Abzan enchantment commander that is in the Commander Masters. I don't know if there's a chance that non-foil is in the deck, and if it is, oops. But the foil is the safe version of this. If you're listening to this, before previews even happen, and you want to just go hard, the foils are the safe ones because there won't be a foil version in the Commander Precon. And if you're listening to this podcast and the deck lists are out, and this card is not in the deck, then it is still a safe buy. Sithis is $2. It's been a very powerful card for a while, but like Cass said and like Corbin said, Modern Horizons 2 is just jam-packed with a million things that are also $1 million, and the set is finally getting some age on it, and it's finally just going out of print. People are opening up other things, et cetera, et cetera. Modern Horizons 2 is fading into the distance, and foils of Sithis are 7, so this is a buy one if you need a foil kind of thing. And if they're not in the deck, then you just buy a small brick of them and cross your fingers.
I think that sets like Modern Horizons 2 are sets that can be difficult for people like us who are involved in it every day, because it's really easy for us to be like, oh, this card won't ever hit because of X reason. That's true today, right? So the thing I'm looking at Cauldron Familiar, which Jason's article on MTG Stocks dealt with, but Cauldron Familiar got so expensive, and in my mind, I'm like, Cauldron Familiar has always been good. It's an uncommon from a couple years ago. How is it $5 today? Because I'm still stuck in, this is a 50-cent card, like it's always been. It's not, and no, it's not that it's new, but like
one of its printings was Jumpstart.
The market paying attention to it can be new, right? So yeah, I think Sithis. I was actually looking at Sithis earlier today as one of a possible pick of the week, because you're right. It's really cheap, but it's on the one hand you're like, well, it's always been good. Why is it still cheap? But then one day it just moves.
Yeah, it's one of those cards where you're wrong about 30 times because you're like, well, I guess I don't buy them because they're not going up.
Yeah,
and
it's
then
like
it did. In the 30th time you're wrong, they did go up. And you're like, oh fuck, I had so many chances to buy them. But
well, it's like
every card. If every card that like kind of thorned at my mind a little bit like that, just kind of like made me look at it a second time, it was something I bought, I would make no money at this. So
it's just like everything we said about Sithis today was also true about Sithis a year ago, and the price has not moved significantly since then. But I still agree with DJ that it will.
And there's a new enchantment set coming out, and there's a new like Enchantments Matters Commander every product now. So I'm like, oh look, another set where the high synergy cards are the exact same 10 cards. So like, I don't know how many times that has to happen.
One minor note on Sithis, and I guess several MH2 cards, is that in my experience, the sketch frame was a big whiff. This card just looks slightly paler and less cool. It's a neat theme conceptually of like, oh, you get to see what the artist direction was, you get to see what the almost final version of the card.
Yeah,
but just
they're not desirable. They don't move. I play them because I can't sell them.
The foils don't pop. The foil sketch Sithis is half of the non-sketch foil Sithis. Yeah. I said those words in the right order, and it felt very good.
Good
like I would not just go buy twice as many of the sketch foil just because you can afford it with the same budget. I would put your money on the best version, which appears to be the regular pack foil if you were looking for a premium one, and I would get the regular pack non-foil if you want the non-premium one, and asterisk if it's not in the deck.
I kind of like the sketch ones you called them.
That's a sketchy opinion from you, then, my friend.
I guess so. I kind of like them, but no, you're probably right though that they look way worse. And they probably it's kind of, I don't want disingenuous isn't the word, but none of us can like truly give like an educated opinion until we hold them in our hand, right? Because like you mentioned the lighting, that stuff.
Corbin, the cards existed for a while.
Yeah,
I know, but I'm saying like I'm looking at it now and I'm like, oh, I prefer the foil, but I haven't actually
I have some
held one in my hand to see which one I prefer. Right, I'm just looking at the art right now.
I see.
But like I've seen like 100 of them, and I know that I prefer the other one more.
All the sketch cards I looked at I've liked, but I haven't actually like played with any of them in a deck, so I don't know how they read.
You also like beans, so like...
Oh, that's a good point. It's a magical fruit.
Those sketch cards are good the way beans are a good snack.
They're magical.
Can we go back to 30 minutes ago when we were talking about how Corbin eats beans out of a milkshake can?
I'm going to go eat beans after I get off this show.
Good for you, man. Get that fiber. At your age, you need that.
We made a playmat like 4 or 5 years ago with Corbin with like an ice cream bowl, and there's a whole like food Corbin legacy as a meme on this podcast. I'm just glad that just sprouts a new branch every 6 months or so, and like the next playmat art's gonna be really cool.
This was this had not come out before. We hadn't talked about beans per se.
There's just so much Corbin food lore.
It's a result of having some kind of like mental block against food. I don't know. It's probably not super healthy, but it's where we're at, and we all make accommodations for ourselves and get by. That's why I figure out what I like and eat it. Same every time. That sounds like a healthy way to deal with things. You can cut all that.
Thanks for coming to the podcast, y'all. It's really cool to have guests like you on my podcast.
Thanks.
Well, thanks.
Where
Cass,
can
I
we find
appreciate
you
it.
guys on the internet? Like it's sometimes hard to find people online. Where can we find you guys?
You can find me, Corbin Hostler, at Chosler on Twitter. You can find me at Wizards doing coverage. That's magic.gg for the week that was articles. You can catch me on TCG Player with weekly winner columns. See what I did there? You can catch me editing around the internet at Original Magic Art and a couple other places. I do.
I'm Jason E. Alt MTG in the BattleBot subreddit.
Perfect.
My Twitter's plural. My threads are my Blue Sky is my Twitter is. All those are going to be down in the descripto that JJ will
There
put.
you go.
You can find me in the back room at the Hot Pot place on North Street. Come in.
Knock 4 times.
Knock 4 times. Ask if you can get some Puchan wontons. Let you back in, and then we can talk. We can do business.
Listen, you can always find me in the